Okay, now go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Varsha. Shrikant gave me this job of talking about the fourth knot, or chakra 4. So in doing so, I first thought I would summarize what I thought were some salient features that I learned from Shrikant. Number one, that the heart chakra is not the same as the spinal heart chakra. They're totally different. So the spinal chakra is that chakra from the crown to the base where energy is trapped in Kundalini. Whereas the heart chakra is something that Babuji visualized and like a diversion of energy forward towards the region that is the heart. Um, Shrikant, I don't know how to share PowerPoints, so
Which one?
I mean, I have a small PowerPoint, but I don't know how to share it.
So you can just click on the share screen and then, you can present it.
So that
Yep, go ahead.
Babuji discovered this diversion of energies from the spinal chakra forward towards the heart chakra so that it's a more gentle form of energy, whereas previously yogis would try and use Kundalini energy to move upwards to get energy, and to grow spiritually, but that would cause shattering of nerves because it was an enormous energy source. Whereas this is more of a gentle flow, and as it moves clockwise and counterclockwise like a river, it actually dampens that energy intensity, right? So that is the heart chakra, and it's comprised of, how do I move this? It's comprised of these points. So chakra 1, chakra 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the location of which is given. So palm's breadth below the nipple is chakra 1, also known as the heart chakra, to make it even more confusing. So we have all these, this is all the heart chakra, but chakra 1 is known as the heart chakra. Chakra 2 is the soul chakra. 3 is just 3, and 4 is what I'm going to be talking about today, whose attribute is courage, or the water element.
Yeah,
And then 5.
you can just hit the down button on your screen. On your
Okay, I see it's sideways.
your key. Yeah, just
Yeah,
do.
it's sideways on mine.
Okay.
And each of these chakras has different attributes.
So we are only seeing your first slide. So if you want to
Oh,
go to the next slide, you just click on the slide 2 or 3, whichever the slide you are in.
did you see this one?
We are only seeing your first slide.
No, I don't know.
Just on your keyboard, just put the down arrow. It'll move.
Oh, and okay, so that's the points. Do you see that?
No, we can't see the points.
Well,
Or is it problem with me?
that's the first slide.
Yeah, we are seeing only the first slide.
Are you seeing it as a full screen?
No, Varsha, it's not a full screen. So if you want to show everybody
Okay, if
full
it's not
screen,
full screen, then maybe I'll do it this way.
Right, yeah, right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not seeing the full screen. I'm seeing the full screen on my screen. I don't know how that happened. Okay. So those are the points I was talking about. And then these are the various characteristics of each chakra. So again, the one that I'm going to be talking about, chakra 4, is courage. And then in taking that spiritual journey, Daji, in his book Spiritual Anatomy, talks about how you have to have this desire for self-improvement, and that often starts with meditation. And in the heartfulness meditation way, in the almost the very first sitting, what happens is we start to remove the baggage and the heaviness that we feel, and we begin to start to feel contentment, and we land in the first heart chakra, okay, which is that point 1. And then we then go sequentially on to chakra 2, where you get calmness, and then and chakra 3, where there's that transformative energy of anger to love and compassion, and then chakra 4, and then finally chakra 5. And if you think about the heart chakra region, this is the playing field of the human Maya. That is the way we live in this world of opposites. Everything is duality, so when we master this region of the heart chakra, then we can go on to the mind region and start to even advance even more. So to go down to the last slide, which where I am today is talking about chakra 4. We know of it as the water element. Each chakra is some element: earth, wind, fire. So this is the water element represented by the color black. And its defining quality and attribute is courage. So again, remember, the heart region is the region of opposites. So you have, on the one hand, courage, humility, and surrender. And on the other hand, you have fear, you have dismay, you have worry, right? And energy here moves counterclockwise. So I'm going to stop here, and what I wanted to do is take you on a visual journey. When I was wanting to do this talk, I said, anybody can quote and rant from what Daji talks about, but what about taking a little bit of an authentic-ish journey, even though it might seem very simplistic? So as I was thinking about chakra 4 and the water element, I closed my eyes and I started to think about this. You can call it the start of the Mississippi or the start of Gangotri, in the pond, the lake from which a river forms. The glacier waters empty into this pond. The water is cold and it starts to move forward. Water overflows its banks, and because it's high up in the mountains, it creates this force of fall, waterfalls, eddies, into rocks, and very turbulent kind of white water kind of river starting. And as you flow down this river, you then go into the plains, the Great Plains, where the river is more calm and spread out. And then ultimately the river goes into the ocean. I want for you to think of ourselves as being that water element, and taking this journey into the ocean. And in doing so, we merge. That drop merges with the ocean. So the drop at this time, when it merges with the ocean, is not different from the ocean, right? But yet it is the ocean. So that's where I think of as courage. It has the strength of all, but yet is a no one by itself. And that to me symbolizes that chakra 4. But even at this point, one doesn't end here. You start to feel the strength and the power of having the courage to overcome anything you want to. And I dare you to think that, water vapor does rise from the ocean and leaves the ocean, right? And then the winds move it clockwise and anti-clockwise. And with that wind and movement, you start to get clarity. But that's going into chakra 5, which is not my domain. My domain is chakra 4. So this is all, again, very pedantic, right? How does one think about this in a very simplistic way? So I thought about what Shrikant asked me to do, and the first thing I thought was, why me? And I kept quiet and said, okay, I'll do it. So as I meditated in chakra 1, a sense of acceptance. Okay, I have to do it. But in the last 2 weeks, just like you, Shrikant, all kinds of things hit me. Taking on vendorship management for Lake Eola, taking on this, taking on that. I mean, it's like, why? Why do I have to do this? And I'm like, wait, do you meditate every day? Yeah, then just put it into your meditation. That's where I went with this, And so that calmness, then it went into a sense of calmness, which I'll call chakra 2. But in calmness, there's an Indian word called susti. Susti develops, you become too calm and everything is all settled till the night before, and you're saying, hey, what do I do now? And so I had to tell myself, okay, I have to ignite this passion. I have to become somehow authentic, somehow different. How do I convey to you what is different about this, right? So what I'm doing here is taking you through, weaving you through these chakras of how in everyday life, everyday little small events make you think about your journey just like this. And it's not very different. That's the Maya. That's the playing field of life, and then ultimately in that meditation, I got the river metaphor, and I'm like, okay, now I'm the ocean. Now I have the courage to do this. Whether you think of me as being too simplistic or not, it is what it is. I'm going to do it this way. And at the end of it, I came to this conclusion that, 2 things. That one, that while we go sequentially, from one chakra to another, It's not really, it doesn't, you don't have to master every one section before you go to the other. So in meditation, we're given little seeds, if you will. And that seed is enough for you to carry through, and you can get a little bit from every chakra, you know. So ultimately, yes, you want to master, but even when you master, you don't end at the chakra that you're at, right? If you end in the ocean and you feel happy to be courageous and strong, it could also lead to egoistical tendencies and not move you in your ultimate goal, which is to be one. So those are the 2 points. One, that you don't have to have mastery, and the second, that each knot doesn't signify the end, but it's forward movement at any stage. So that's all I have to say about chakra 4.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. I mean, I kind of like the, the way you took through the journey and, reaching the ocean. So there is, one good point you mentioned about, this water drop merging into the ocean. It becomes the ocean, but yet, so that basically means its identity is lost. So the 4th point sort of represents that as courage, right? So
Yeah.
until it merges into the ocean, it feels that separation. That separation is what causes the fear. So that's why, the two opposite, emotions or characteristics, you can call it 4th point, is fear and courage. It's mostly the fear of separation. What causes fear? When we think of losing something, or when we think of separated for something, or possibility of separation.
Mm-hmm.
This possibility of separation is an illusion, basically. We are always there with that essence, with that ultimate essence, God, what we call it. We are never separated. But we, in our ignorance, we think we are separated, and then we pray to the God as if the God is separated from us. That's why we have to put so much emotion, fear, everything we feel in our lives. Even the fear of death is also, we think we are going to get separated from life. Not knowing that the life is not going anywhere, life is continuous. So that's why when we realize this essence by merging into that ocean, the courage, comes into the play. So courage is not about facing life, facing situation, and not all those things. Courage is where the idea of separation, the idea of losing something is gone from our perception.
Yeah, and he also says it's not really about just grand deeds like heroes being courageous, right? Every little act is an act of courage when you do it with conviction, when you do it with oneness.
Correct. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. So now you know why you were chosen to do this point.
If you say so, Shrikant. No, but it was very enlightening to kind of take the journey.
Thank you. Now I have to post in the group who wants to take the 5th point. So